Mr. Blake, I'm Jean Craddock from the Sun Scene. Tape recorder okay?
Go ahead, that's right.
What's your real name?
I'm Bad Blake. My tombstone will have my real name on it. Until then, I'm just gonna stay bad.
Your heart's on the loose. You rode them sevens with nothing to lose.
Where'd all those songs come from?
Life, unfortunately.
Place for the weary kind.
I'm 57 years old. I'm broke.
Why don't you sit down and write some songs, huh?
Keep talking.
You called all your shots.
I keep feeling obliged to apologize for being less than you probably imagined me to be.
Somehow this don't feel like home anymore.
We ought to go out and find some trouble to get into.
Yeah, big trouble.
And this ain't no place for the weary kind.
I knew what the risks were with you, and I took them.
This ain't no place.
It's one hell of a song.
Your mind.
This is gonna be your best year in the last 7.
Never too late, son. Never too late.
Pick up your crazy heart and give it one more try. This ain't no place for the weary kind.
Thanks for coming out. It's so good to be home. Home I'll try.
It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.
Amazing movie actor, movie star, multiple Academy Award nominee, Jeff Bridges. You know, you've been nominated, what, how many times? 4 or 5?
4 times.
Four
About to be
times.
5.
Okay, they're saying it'll be about 5.
It will. And you're actually called the most underrated actor in America.
Yesterday, his film Crazy Heart, which critics are raving about, opened at the Angelica and the Lincoln Center. Of course, it's going to open everywhere eventually. And Shelley was lucky enough to see it because she gets to go to the movie critics screenings.
Oh, and you know, and I had to vote for 2 critics groups. And so, you know, you keeping your notes, and I'm going to vote for this one, that one. And in the middle of Crazy Heart, I just said, okay, the vote is changing.
You're a good singer, and I mean, this is really you. This is
All
really
you.
in this performance that people are talking so much about as Bad Blake, who's a washed-up country star, but a country star nonetheless, a guy who has hits that people know.
Who
is
could
just,
really write.
It's just that, yeah, his day as a big star has passed. He's fallen on some difficult times, has some serious personal issues to deal with, and there's a love story that's involved, and there's also the relationship with a younger artist that Bad Blake mentored, who at the time this film takes place is, you know, at the top, doing arenas and stuff like that.
Right.
And he was really impressive musically.
Isn't he great? Colin
Yeah, I
Farrell?
was like, wow.
Yeah, he came in for, I think, 4 or 5 days and just knocked that part out of the park. I mean, he was wonderful. And then to sing together, because basically, acting's all about harmonizing together, one way or another. And Colin was wonderful to sing with and act with and the whole deal.
But, you know, those situations really happen.
What's that?
Where the mentor finds that he's at a point in life where he's surpassed in fame or
And his
or
day has
success,
passed.
and his day has passed. And there are a lot of big name. I mean, in country music, I can name a ton of them. A lot of big name country guys, older, haven't had a hit in a long time, but they're still on the road. They're still playing every night because they just have to.
That's right.
As artists, they have to. I mean, you know, Nashville is filled with stories of artists who just keep on going, like your character.
That's right. That's right. A big role model for me was Stephen Bruton, who the movie's dedicated to, and he's an old buddy of T-Bone's. They grew up together. We met 30 years ago on Heaven's Gate, and we got hooked up there by the star of that movie, Chris Christopherson, who's also a big role model for me in this movie. And meeting those guys back in those days. You know, Chris got all his musician friends to come and play small parts in that movie, and that was 6 months of jamming every night after work. So in a funny way, that movie was the beginning of this one. You know?
And you know, Chris Christopherson was a janitor at Columbia Records in Nashville.
That's right.
Wow.
He was a janitor.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his job. That's how he broke into the record business.
It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.